Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. In this video, we will learn some more important points regarding the lesson Independent India, the first 30 years 1947 to 77 from the 10th class Social Studies textbook. Foreign Policy and Wars. When India became independent, the Cold War had just begun and the world was being polarized into countries in the US or USSR camp. Jawaharlal Nehru followed a policy of not joining either camp and tried to maintain an equidistant and independent position in foreign policy. Jawaharlal Nehru also joined hands with several other countries that had become independent around the same time and wanted to follow a similar policy Indonesia, Egypt, Yugoslavia, and so on. Together they built the non aligned movement. As for the immediate neighbors, he formulated the Panchashil policy of non interference in each other's internal affairs. However, India had to face wars during this period, first with Pakistan over Kashmir in 1948 1965, over Bangladesh issue in 1971, and with China over border issue in 1962. India was not well prepared for the wars, especially the war in 1962, and sustained heavy losses of human life and money. The succession. With Nehru's death in 1964, the Congress, however, managed a successful transition by choosing Lal Bahadur Shastri as its leader in the government. The anti Hindi agitation led by the DMK in the south, which threatened the goals of unity and integrity, the shortage of food, which came in the way of social and economic transformation, and a war with Pakistan in 1965. Indira Gandhi succeeded Shastri as Prime Minister after his untimely death in 1966. Anti Hindi agitation. The Official Languages Act was passed in 1963. The DMK believed it was an attempt to foist Hindi on the rest of the country, and they began a statewide campaign protesting the imposition of Hindi. Finally, when things seemed to be going out of hand, Shastri, though he supported the pro Hindi stand, made a series of concessions to assuage the feelings of the anti Hindi camp. These included, among others, the right of each state to have a language of its own. English would continue to be the communication language between the center and the states, and that the civil service exams would be conducted in English rather than Hindi alone. Rise of regional parties and regional movements. The 1967 election was a landmark election in the history of India. It was not surprising that the Congress party suffered its worst defeat till then. It was returned with the lowest majority it had since independence. It was defeated in assemblies like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Punjab, West Bengal, Orissa, Madras, and Kerala. This was the first big transition in India. The party, which had ruled continually for nearly 30 years, was now being challenged. The prominent losses for the Congress included Tamil Nadu and Kerala. In Tamil Nadu, the DMK won by a huge margin. The Congress also lost in the neighboring state Kerala, as also in West Bengal and Odisha. The Congress governments fell and they were replaced by Samyukta Vidhayak Dal governments. These were basically a coalition of legislators against the Congress made up Jan Sangh, Socialists, Swatantra Party, and Congress defectors besides local parties. The new governments are an important marker in India's political history because the intermediate castes, the groups who had first benefited from the land reforms and acquired some degree of economic standing, gained political power. These castes included the Jats in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, Kurmis and Koris in Bihar, Lodhs in Madhya Pradesh, as well as the Yadavs in all these states, the Reddis and Kammas in Andhra Pradesh, the Okkaligas in Karnataka, and the Vellalas in Tamil Nadu. This period saw a renewal of a regional sentiment in different parts of the country. In Andhra Pradesh, there was demand for the separation of Telangana. The movement was spearheaded by the students of Usmania University, whose main gurus was that the benefits of development were going to only some sections of the state. In Assam, a new state called Meghalaya was created in December 1969 out of the tribal districts of Khasi, Jaintia, and Garo Hills. Punjab, despite being formed in 1966, did not have a capital of its own. During the period 1968-69, there were a series of demonstrations asking for Chandigarh, which served as the common capital of Haryana and Punjab, to be given to them. In Maharashtra, there was a curious demand of Bombay for Maharashtrians only. The ruler Hari Singh wanted the state to remain independent of both India and Pakistan. Bangladesh War. In the early 1970s, Trouble was brewing in East Pakistan as a movement for the assertion of Bengali identity and protest against what was seen as a stepmotherly treatment by West Pakistan. In 1971, a war broke out between India and Pakistan and India, the left turn. Until 1971, the elections to the Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly were held simultaneously in most states. Indira Gandhi broke this pattern by calling for early elections in 1971 rather than 1972. The Congress went to elections using popular slogan Garibi Hatao. It also promised radical restructuring of the system to benefit the poor and marginalized. Among the important legislations that were passed during this period, apparently to achieve the goal of social and economic transformation, were the nationalization of many private banks and abolishing of princely pensions. The 1973 Arab Israel war raised the oil prices to an all time high and put huge pressure on the government. The opposition, united under Jayaprakash Narayan, ran a series of campaigns in different parts of the country against the Congress and especially against Indira Gandhi. This was the JP movement and it was very prominent in Bihar and Gujarat. Emergency. The opposition also criticized the PM for personalizing the government. Meanwhile, due to a decision of Allahabad High Court, Indira Gandhi was unseated from Lok Sabha for violating some election provisions during the 1971 elections. A few days later, with the JP movement gaining more strength, the government imposed emergency and justified it as necessary to preserve order, save democracy, protect the social and economic transformation, and preserve national integrity. The major highlights of this period was the 42nd constitutional amendment which brought about a series of changes. It had the following aims: excluding the courts from election disputes, strengthening the central government vis-a-vis the state governments, providing maximum protection from judicial challenges to social and economic transformation legislation, making the judiciary subservient to parliament. While the supposed aim of the amendment was to protect social and economic development from judiciary, strengthen national unity and so on, in reality it actually weakened the democratic fabric of this country. To get a notification of our further videos, Make sure to subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching our channel.